Hello and welcome everyone to the Week in 7 Questions. Christian, what were your first thoughts when you saw the storming of the US Capitol on January 6th?
The pictures were shocking and a disgrace. But honestly, what happened on January 6th in Washington was not completely unexpected. It is the result of a president sowing divisions for 4 years and undermining trust in elections and democracy in the US. It shows us how rapidly populism can destroy democracy and a harmonious society.
So Biden and many others, even Republicans, are now talking about national healing. How is that going to work?
Well, we shall see. I do think that just that the tone yesterday of the confirmation hearings of future Secretary of State Tony Blinken and others was a more productive tone. I think the insurrection that happened at the Capitol was a real wake-up call to Republicans who were shaken by it. But that's not the entire Republican Party. I think half the Republican Party in the House, more than half, didn't recognize Biden's election victory. So there's a real reckoning that has to come with the Republican Party. And I don't think a Biden administration should wait too long for Republicans to sort of change course and to unify. And Biden administration will have to pursue its agenda and hope that Republicans join them, but not wait too long for them to come on board.
So Portugal is now holding the EU Council presidency. If you had to make a prediction, what will this presidency be remembered for?
I think it will be the vaccine question. Perhaps Portugal had other aspirations. When I talked to our diplomats, they really did. They had an aspiration to have outward-looking European Union, looking to Asia, to India, to Africa, to Latin America. That's also Portugal's vocation. The pandemic made all of that very difficult, if not impossible. And when I talk to our diplomats now, what I hear is we have to make sure that the vaccine question turns out well by the summer. That's the priority. That's how the presidency is going to be remembered, whether people like it here in Lisbon or not.
So are Russians learning from Belarusians?
Yes, definitely. According to Levada's polls, about 90% of Russians have heard about the Belarus protests as of late 2020. The Russian opposition is learning from the Belarus example, learning the strategy of popular mobilization used by Belarus opposition. For example, a countrywide Telegram channel like the Belarusian Naxta is needed for coordination, according to some Russian opposition leaders. And Putin, unfortunately, is also learning from Lukashenko his coercive repression strategies, such as, for example, demonstrated by the brutal mass crackdown of February 2nd.
And talking about COVID and vaccines, what is the impact of the pandemic on Europe's digital ambitions and its quest for so-called digital sovereignty?
Well, I hope it's a wake-up call. It's a reminder that we should be extremely smart in the way we organize our economic recovery and the way we invest the money when it comes to digital. I think we all want to hear a lot more about European advanced battery cells or better cloud infrastructure, rather than about municipalities putting QR codes on rocks and tourist sites, which nobody really uses.
After the five-star movement, Salvini's League now also seems to have embraced the pro-European cause. How would you interpret this conversion?
Well, the pandemic has really changed everything, and the Next Generation EU also has changed everything. The pandemic is calling for a more responsible behavior, and the Next Generation EU has actually deeply changed Europe. So Salvini took some time, but has finally adapted to this new condition. Of course, whether this is a permanent conversion needs to be seen in the coming months.
Katarina, you're Slovak. Are Central Europeans better at understanding the East than West European Putin-Versteher?
Well, I definitely think that having people like myself and other people from the region in the decision-making positions in the EU does help with the understanding of the East. I do think. This is not to say that there are not a lot of Western Europeans that have a fantastic and profound understanding of whether Russia or the East. But I think if you talk about the statistical probability of those who understand the East, I think it is higher among the more recent entrants to the European Union.